Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all species, welcome to our wrestling perspective. If you want to make it your wrestling perspective, hear me out. This is pretty far-fetched, but all you need to do is add Y, because that makes it your wrestling perspective. Yeah, I'm still trying to nail the intro. But this episode is episode 12 of our weekly perspective, looking at the whole week of professional wrestling from the 12th of April all the way up to the 19th of April 2020. And all I'm going to say within this week of professional wrestling, it has been probably the most chaotic, speechless types of weeks I've ever seen. Honestly, looking at my phone and seeing what they are referring to on some sites as a Black Wednesday release with a whole bunch of WWE talent that got released. Some may include, I don't want to biff up all the names, that's why I didn't write a list, because they don't deserve me botching up their name. But for all of you that have been released and anyone that has lost their job through this whole coronavirus and all of this pandemic, my heart goes out to you. If there's anything that I can do to help, even if it's just a little smidget through this video to try to make you feel better during the day, hopefully it works. But if there's anything at all, just make sure to stay safe, stay positive, because if we work together, before you know it, all of this will finish. And on to the second thing, Howard Finkel, rest in peace to easily the greatest announcer in the ring of all time. Him and the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy really stuck out to me when I was a kid, and it was really heartbreaking when I saw the Fink had passed away. It took a day for me to get it all in, and the whole week was crazy. But let's look onto things that we can look onto for now, and let's try to think of the positives, even though it has been a really negative situation. And let's look at the whole week of professional wrestling, and let's kick it off. Now, starting off with the WWE programming and what stuck out to me through this whole week. Well, we're going to start with Monday Night Raw. And what were the 5 points that stuck out to me? The first point being Asuka in the Money in the Bank. So, wait a minute. She's not with Kabuki? What? The second point that stuck out to me on Monday Night Raw is none other, yes, take a shot, because I said none other twice. We're talking about Drew McIntyre. I really love his WWE Championship run. I'm already loving it. The way that he's already beat Big Show, good that he beat Big Show now. The whole Andrade coming out and saying, I'm the top champion, even though you've been buggered off for 6 months. But Drew McIntyre's the WWE Champion. I'm already loving it. Honestly. Frothing it. Third point being, we're talking about MVP and how he announced in the VIP lounge that he will be in a qualifying match for the Money in the Bank against Apollo Crews. So wait a minute, you're not retired, you lied, did that whole big speech for your match against Mysterio, got a 619 on your back for no reason. Shame. Shame. Fourth point being for Monday Night Raw, Shayna Baszler just ran completely through Sarah Logan. And the sad part of this all, yeah, even though it was a great showing for Shayna Baszler to just completely obliterate Sarah Logan, sadly this is the last time we're going to see Sarah Logan, because she was sadly a part of the Black Wednesday releases. Honestly hope the best for her, but the way that Shayna looked out of this segment, forget the vampire, she's a brutalator. Wow, people would hate me for saying that word. And fifth and final point, we have Seth Rollins back in a title picture after he attacks Drew McIntyre. You know what? Okay, don't hate me for this, alright? The whole build up for Raw where he's all quiet and just saying he wanted to make a change for everyone, I like that ominous thing. But why back into the top? At least there's some more fresh blood. Drew, just get rid of him quick. Right after Monday Night Raw, we're moving on to the Wednesday Night War between the Black and Gold brand NXT and the All Elite brand AEW Dynamite. I always say this, you can love all professional wrestling, but some weeks you may have a preference in what you watch, typically on the Wednesday night. It may have been that NXT, the black and gold brand, did it for you this week, or it could have been that Elite brand, that All Elite Wrestling Dynamite on TNT that did it for you. We're going to find out who did it for us. 3 points from each show. Let's evaluate it, what the main points were. Let's get into it.
Let's do this!
Starting with the black and gold brand NXT, what were the 3 points that stuck out to me? First point being the interim cruiserweight championship tournament to crown the interim cruiserweight champ. Yeah, sorry that I got interrupted for a quick second, but the interim cruiserweight championship, you know, they're going to be crowning it through this whole Group A, Group B tournament, and we saw Swerve Scott up against Akira Tozawa. Ha! Ha! I actually missed those chants, but Akira Tozawa ripping out that victory, even though sometimes it looked like he took a nasty bump on the neck. It was a fantastic match. Second point being, I am actually really happy that they put the mask back onto El Julio del Fantasma, even though it's a sneaky little new design. I like how they've got him back to speaking full Mexican, even though his English is fantastic. El Julio del Fantasma, the whole promo that he did, it gave me a little bit of goosebumpsy. And I'm going to say, he's going to be this particularly big standout throughout the whole interim Cruiserweight Championship tournament. What a mouthful. Third point that stuck out to me was the debut of the neck breaker, the jaw breaker himself, Timothy Thatcher. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but he teamed up with the stallion himself, Matt Riddle, to defend the NXT Tag Team Championships up against Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, the Undisputed Era. How many times I biffed that trying to record that? But this match was fantastic, and finally seeing Timothy invade into the NXT roster is fantastic. We saw him at NXT TakeOver and we were just waiting. And even when he was on backstage and he got called the original leader of Imperium. It's not that, alright? But we have to have our eyes on him. Now moving on to the All Elite brand, All Elite Wrestling Dynamite on TNT. The first point that stuck out to me, Lance Archer is my pick to grab the TNT Championship. The way that he's had this dominant performance, even destroying Colt Cabana. Well, not destroying, they had a decent match, but the Murder Hawk, that's who I've got my money on, people. That's who I've got my money on. Second point that stuck out to me was the Bubbly Bunch, featuring the inner circle called the Bubbly Bunch. You know, I love this. I love everything that Jericho touches. Magically turns into gold. Honestly. Kiss my hands now after sanitize. Hold on. And the third point that stuck out to me, we're talking about the Hager and Mox match. Yeah, that's sanitized. With Jim Ross on commentary. You know what? It was a half decent match. There was a couple points where Jim Ross was even questioning how the match was going. That kind of, not saying that Jim Ross degraded the match at any point, but by saying in the match, why are they using chairs from under the ring when they have an empty arena? Little things like that, yeah, kind of sticks out. Just mention all their records and how they keep being... I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but Moxley and Hager, it was good for what it was. Thought it would be a bit more brutal the way that they built up this match. I thought people were going to be missing limbs. See, now how people hate texting me after I just said that. So, ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding, who won it for me this week? Was it the All Elite brand on TNT Dynamite? Are we talking NXT? It was a real shocker and it was a real hard one. But, you know what? Not gonna lie. I enjoyed the NXT brand this week. You're probably thinking why I have this toy replica. Me too. Now moving on to NXT UK, to the wrong part.
Yeah, no man, it's a pre-recorded, it was a replay.
Well, it was a replay.
It was like another one of those greatest moments type of replays, but yeah,
again.
It was just another one, mate.
Hopefully soon enough, we'll see some fresh episodes of NXT UK. Now on to the blue brand, Smackdown on Fox. What were the points that stuck out to me? There were 5 points this week. You're probably thinking, why so many points? Listen, I had the points, alright? You just hear them. First point being, we're talking about the Braun Strowman segment on the Moment of Bliss, even though I don't like seeing the Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss as tag team champions once again, but I'm guessing it's a good segment because Braun Bymes. Okay, we'll continue on with the actual point. When Braun was on the moment of bliss, he receives a sneaky little gift. It's a sneaky little present. What's in that present? It was a black sheep mask. Talking about proper mind games, it's a throwback to when Braun Strowman was found in the Wyatt family when he debuted on Monday Night Raw, if I'm not correct, and he was standing on the side of the apron like this with the black sheep mask, took it off, and he was stern as can be. You know what? That was a scary Braun Strowman then, besides the whole pee stain on the pants that he had. Second point being for Smackdown on Fox. Did you see the mini doco of it's like the second part, the fall of the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy, talking about all his arrests, all of his drug abuse, all of his drinking abuse, all the DIYs and DIYs. Wow, that's a tag team.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Talking about all of that and how he's going to redeem himself by the time he's going to get back. It was pretty heartfelt at times, but then it felt like they were, don't take this out of context whatsoever. It kind of felt like they were dragging a bit of the Hardy name through mud, just a little bit, say with the hand, just a little bit into the mud. But I'm guessing out of it, we're going to see the charismatic enigma come back once again. The burner. And he mentioned how he went too far, and I remember when I went too far. To the hell with it. Has to be a good movie. The third point that stuck out to me for Smackdown on Fox, they were advertising, Michael Cole and Corey Graves were advertising for the 25-year anniversary of the King of the Kings, cerebral assassin Triple H, that will take part next week. But they said one thing that stuck out to me. One thing. And you know what that one thing was? They said through the whole illustrious, fantastic career of this, I don't know his actual seating position in WWE, but the actual career of the King of the Kings, Triple H, he has won everything except the Money in the Bank. And I'm telling you, if they do this, they better not. And just when I think it couldn't get worse, fourth point, corporate Money in the Bank. You have to start on the ground floor of WWE headquarters, work your way up to get to the roof, to where the briefcase will be. You know what? They're just not letting AEW have anything. Chris Jericho made the Money in the Bank. Nah, we're not doing it your way. We're doing it in a building. And fifth and final point for Smackdown on Fox. We're talking about the new 8-time tag team champions. New Day. Yeah, that's right. Your boys became 8-time tag team champions. Yes. I do have the replica. It's a nice replica. Come look at this. Look at the replica. See how it... Now moving on to other wrestling besides the WWE. Moving on to Impact Wrestling, and what were the points that stuck out to me? There were actually 3 points that stuck out to me for this Impact Wrestling, because this Impact Wrestling really stuck out to me, because it was a really good episode. First point being, Johnny Swinger said that he was going to do a little open challenge. He was going to bring the biggest young buck, the most popular within the scene, M. Jackson. And everyone's like, oh, out comes 70-year-old Mike Jackson. Everyone had their little giggle, but they shouldn't have been giggling, because Mike Jackson is the best Jackson. He's 70 years old and he's doing it old school, around the whole ropes. He's still moving better than some other wrestlers that I've seen nowadays. The guy's in incredible shape at 70. I remember when I was watching him. He's incredible at that age. It's just amazing what people can do. Woo! Jackson. Second point for Impact that stuck out to me. We're talking about that Rob Van Dam promo with the cancel culture, him and Katie Forbes. You know what? Heel RVD is still the best thing going today. Fight me on it. Come on. Square up. And third and final point. Ken Shamrock, ICU feud. Yes. And this whole hacker thing that Sami Callihan had the actual vision for, that's actually fruitioning. Oh wow. That's actually taking place in Impact. The hacker Sami Callihan. It's really cool. He has the paper masks on people, but it glitches out. Then Ken Shamrock was chasing Sami Callihan, and then he was in a car and all the paper people are pushing him in a car. It was creepy stuff, but it was cool creepy. Now on to MLW and AAA's Super Series Part 2, Week 2, Electric Boogaloo. What stuck out to me, and since it was Part 2, maybe I should only put 2 points that stuck out. Yeah, you're like, stop. Alright, let's move on to the points. First point being for MLW Super Series, Douglas James got a bit shafted in his match. The ref was doing a slow count the minute he got his opponent to the ground. 1, 2. It's like, come on, man. Serious? There's a bit of bias going on in Mexico there. And part 2, we saw Extreme Tiger, aka Tigre Uno, whatever he was called, in Impact team up with Puma King to take on Team Filthy. I think this is the closest Extreme Tiger is ever going to get to having that feud with Donald Trump. Yeah, remember how he wanted the Donald Trump feud?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
But before we finish off this video, I gotta mention, like what we did on our Facebook, which is Our Wrestling Perspective on Facebook. If you like us there, there's a bit of sneaky content that we do there. But one thing that I did mention is at WWE Raw Rumble 2020, right after it, I did a trivia contest. It happened every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 PM Eastern Time in Australia, and it was Monday and Wednesday in America. So there was a little bit of balance, but there was questions regardless. 2 questions a week, and then all the way built up to WrestleMania. The people that had the most points from answering those questions would eventually earn their spot to try to get into the top 3. And the top 3 first prize was a World Heavyweight Championship belt. Second prize was a pair of super kicks of their choosing, and third was a mystery prize, which was technically now a Zero Miedo hoodie. But we gotta head over to who came first. Let's head over to Dominic Foxhill, all the way in Virginia, with his newly crowned OWP Championship that he successfully obtained through the Road to WrestleMania trivia contest. Congratulations, champ. Let's head over to him.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy, it's the South Philly Psycho. You may know me from Top Rope Wrestling Talk, and I'm here because, as usual, when the Psycho rolls through a goddamn joint, I walk out golden. My group is a perfect example of that, but now I even have more proof, because right here I have something that nobody else in the wrestling world has. And I'm going to show you exactly what that is. Don't try that at home, by the way. Psycho's a professional. Bust this bitch open. If I cut myself, I would have been pissed. The Psycho brings to you the first ever OWP Championship. That's right. My boy Colt Hogan came in group a bunch of months ago and he said, hey y'all, holding the trivia contest, giving out prizes to the top 3. Anybody down? So of course you know the Psycho said he was down. So I walked up into OWP, got involved with a bunch of people, Evil Evan, my boy Will, a bunch of jabrones from that group, and by the time it was all said and done, guess who was number 1? That's right, boys and girls, the Psycho. So now, I am a 16-time group champion. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Nature Boy can ride my limo, and Cena can't see my ass. Oh, now that's out of the way, let me just click and shoot. Thank you, Colt. Thank you, Our Wrestling Perspective. Check them out on Facebook. Their videos on YouTube. They're on Twitter. They are everywhere. They're awesome. My boys from Down Under. You saw them on the crossover episode. Mwah! This is beautiful. I'm excited. I love you for this. I will be back for the next competition, so maybe I can become Dami 3 belts. Peace.
And that was our weekly perspective, episode 12. If you liked all of it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. You know what the second step is? Listen here, you just need to press that red button and you're a part of the OWP Galaxy because you officially become a subscriber. And third step, this is a cheeky one. This one will let you know when the videos are out to actually for you to see if you spank that notification bell. But before all of that, I have to say thank you to all of the OWP Galaxy, the viewers, the subscribers, just everyone in general. Make sure to stay safe through all of this craziness that's going on. And yes, this week has been hard, but if we stick together, hopefully it'll work out.